Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss one of the beautiful poems composed by John Berryman. And the poem is entitled The Ball Poem. John Allen McAlpin Berryman, this is his complete name, was born on 25th October 1914 and died on 7th January 1972. So he was basically 20th century poet. He was an American poet and scholar. He is best known for the Dream Songs, a sequence of 385 poems. It is an anthology of poems containing 385 poems that are intensely personal. And this anthology is composed in 1969, and he is well known for this anthology of poems, The Dream Songs, and it won him Pulitzer Prize and the National Book Award also he got. Now let's know the theme of the poem. The poem entitled The Ball Poem, it is about the reality of life which everyone has to face one day. And what is the reality? The reality is the mortality of human beings and every other thing that is present on this earth. So, this is the reality of life, and everyone has to face that reality. Here in this poem, the poet wants a boy to learn the toughest lesson. Here, a boy is there, and the poet wants that he should learn a lesson, and that lesson is the toughest lesson of life, that we should bear the harsh realities of life. And what the lesson is that we should bear, we should tolerate the harsh realities of life. We should understand what the life is. The life is not a bed of roses. There are so many hardships in the life, and we have to accept those hardships, and we should move along. We should continue to go. We should continue to live our life despite those hardships. The poem is about losing something that you love and learning to grow up. It is about losing something. We know that nothing is permanent, and whatever is there to us at a particular time may be lost at some time in the future. So, it is about losing things, losing human beings that you love. The poem is about losing someone that you love, that you like to be with. And it is about learning to grow up despite those losses, despite we despite we lose something that we dearly love. We should learn to grow up. We should grow up. We should not stop living. In this poem, a boy's sadness of losing a ball and his learning about the deep and the dark side of life are shown in the poem. So, in this poem, we will see a boy who is sad because he has lost a ball, and he also learns the deep and the dark side of life. He also learns that life is not very easy as he thought. And these deep and dark sides of life are shown here in this poem. Now let us know what the poem is. John Berryman, in his poem, describes the grief of a boy over the loss of ball. So, in this poem, we will see that a boy is there, and he lets a ball slip out of his hands, and the ball has gone jumping, bouncing there on the road and over the road, and the ball reaches or it falls in water. The ball is symbolic in the poem. It is a symbol. It is symbolic in the poem as it is associated, the ball is associated, it is connected with the sweet memories of childhood. What the ball is? It is the symbol of one's memories. It is the symbol of one's loved things. It is the symbol of one's loved persons. So the poem is a symbol. Here it is a symbol of memories of his childhood for the boy. No other ball can compensate the loss. The poet says that if he is going to provide that boy with a new ball, he will not be happy because that new ball will not compensate for the loss of the previous ball. With that loss, he senses his first responsibility, and the poet is not going to help the child because he wants the child to sense, he wants the child to notice, to observe the first responsibility that the life itself wants to teach the boy. In this materialistic world, the poet says that the world is materialistic. This world is the world of possessions, and in this world, the boy goes on to learn first responsibility where those whom we love and our worldly possessions will not be with us forever. So, this is a materialistic world. No one is immortal in this world. That's why those whom we love, those persons whom we love, or those things that we love a lot, all the things will not be with us forever. And this is the first lesson that the boy is taught by the life itself with the incidents of the ball, of losing the ball. The poet sympathizes with the boy. The poet, he feels sorry for the boy, but he is not going to help him at all. But the poet says that like every man, very soon he would also learn to stand up. And that is the second message the life wants to teach him. It is to stand up despite all obstacles, despite all losses. Though the poet sympathizes the boy, still he is not going to help him, and the poet says that he will strengthen himself and he will be able to stand up despite the loss of the ball. Now let's read the poem. This is really a very beautiful poem. What is the boy? Now, who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. What is the boy now? The poet says that the boy has lost the ball. And now, what is the condition of the boy who has lost his ball? He lets the ball slip out of his hands, and now the ball has gone somewhere. He has lost it. What? What is he to do? Now he is repeating these words, what and what. It is just for emphasis. He goes on to emphasize this question that what the boy can do. What is there in his mind? I saw it go. The poet says that he saw the ball go. And where had the ball gone? The ball had gone in the water, as he has said it, that the boy lets the ball slip out of his hands and the poet saw it. It stands here for the ball, and the poet saw the ball go in the water. And how did the ball go? The ball went there merrily, happily, bouncing, jumping down the street. The boy saw, and also the poet saw the ball go down the street and then merrily over. And then the poet saw that the ball went merrily over the road, and now the ball was in the water. Now the poet tells what the condition of the boy is after losing the ball, and why is he in such a condition. No use to say, oh, there are other balls. The poet says that he is in such a sorrow that he will not be consoled. The boy will not be comforted. If the poet is going to give him another bowl, if he is going to offer him another bowl, the boy will not be comforted. The boy will not be happy. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. The boy, when he does not have the ball with him, when he loses the ball, he shakes from within. Ultimate shaking. He shakes completely from within, and he shakes because of the grief, because of the fear, and that grief fixes the boy, and that grief holds the boy. So the boy is full of sorrow, and because of that sorrow, he stood there still without moving. But inwardly, that grief has convulsed the boy. That grief had shaken the boy. As he stands rigid, and now he is standing there rigid, without moving. He is stiff, he is standing there firm, trembling. He is trembling because of that sorrow. He is shaking because of that sorrow. Staring down. The boy is staring down. He looks down. He gazes down. All his young days. And where does he stare? He was staring at the harbor. And why is the boy staring at the harbor? Because his ball has fallen across the road into the water in the harbor. All his young days are there into the harbor because the boy is connected emotionally to the ball. That's why all his young days, because his memories of his young days, his memories of the past, because he played with the ball and his memories were there with the ball. That's why the poet says that the ball has gone into the harbor with all those memories of all his past days, where his ball went. So his young days also went into the harbor where his ball went, because his memories of his young days, his memories of his past days had gone with the ball. I would not intrude on him. And then the poet says that he did not want to intrude, he did not want to intervene on him, he did not want to say him anything. The poet wants the boy to cope up with this situation by himself. He wants the boy to be strong enough to overpower this sorrow. And he wants the boy to learn the message that the life itself wants to give the boy. A dime, another bowl is worthless. Now, a dime, small amount of money. Actually, it is a 10-cent coin, but here it is small amount of money. Another bowl is worthless. The poet says that another bowl does not cost a lot. it costs a small amount of money. But another ball is worthless, is of no use because his memory was there with the ball, because he is not going to be consoled. And moreover, the poet wants the boy to learn a great lesson. And if he is going to provide him with another ball, he will not learn any lesson. That's why the poet says that though another ball will not cost much, but the another ball is of no use for the boy, because the boy will not learn a lesson that the life itself wants to teach him. Now, he senses first responsibility. Now the boy senses, he notices, he observes first responsibility in this world, a possession. Now the boy understands that this is the world of possessions, and in this world, first responsibility he has understood, and that responsibility is that one should keep one's things intact to oneself, that we should not let our things lose, we should not let our belongings get lost. So this is the first responsibility that the child learns in this world, and this world is materialistic. This world is the world of possessions, where everyone wants to possess something or the other. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And what lesson the little boy learns here? He learns that balls will be lost always, that nothing in this world is permanent, and we cannot keep anything intact forever. So this is the first lesson, and he learns the lesson that people will take balls. Balls represent our precious things, the things that we want to keep to ourselves. The balls represent, the balls are symbol of those loved ones we want to keep with us. But those people, those things, they are like balls that are lost, that are taken away either by people, or they die, or they perish with the passage of time. Little boy. So he learns this lesson, and no one buys a ball back. And once the ball is taken away, once a person has gone from the life of other, that person is not going to come back, and that thing will not be given by anyone. Money is external. So money is external. This dime that the poet wants to offer the boy, but he does not offer it, he says that this money is external. There is no use to give that money, or to give another ball to that boy, because he learns something in his heart. He learns, and he is having a good experience now, and this experience has got much worth. Money is worthless, but that experience is having much worth, much use of that, because now the boy knows what the life is. This life is not very easy to live in this life people are going to take away so many things from you, or so many things are lost by you, or with the passage of time people die, with the passage of time things get lost, or they perish. That's why it is important for the boy to learn this lesson, that if a thing is taken away from him by others, that thing will not come back. And this is the lesson, that he should either keep those things intact to him, he should try to keep those things with him. And another lesson that he is going to learn, that is connected with this lesson, is his learning the theory of loss. He is learning well behind his desperate eyes, the epistemology of loss, how to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So the boy is learning now. This is the second thing, and this is the benefit of losing that ball, that he has learned something. Now he is learning well behind his desperate eyes. His eyes are desperate. His eyes are hopeless. His eyes are sad. And his eyes want to have that ball. So, behind this desperate condition of his, behind his desperate eyes, he has learned something, and he has learned the epistemology of loss. He has learned the philosophy of loss, and he has learned how to stand up, how to stand up, how to remain strong, how to remain sound after that loss. So, this is the learning, and this learning has got great value. Knowing what every man must one day know, and this boy has known something, and now this boy is having the knowledge of what every man must one day know. It is for sure that every man knows this thing one day or the other in this world, and this boy has learned this thing now, and most know many days, and most of the people, they do not have such experience, they do not have such knowledge in the early phase of their lives. They take a lot of days to know that thing, and this is learnt by the boy in this very early age of his, how to stand up. And what he has learned how to stand up. He has learned about this world. He has learned that this world is the world of possessions, and in this world of possessions, one should keep one's things intact. And he also learned the thing that nothing is permanent in this world, everything is to be taken away from you, either by people or by the time. And one should stand up. One should not weep over the losses. One should be strong enough to bear those losses. So, that thing, being strong, being sound, it is being taught to that boy. And this is of great value. So, now let us know about the figures of speech, about the poetic devices that the poet has used in this poem to make this poem interesting. So the first one, that is anaphora, and you know what anaphora is. It is the use of repeated words in two or more lines. As we can see, the repetition of what, as what is the boy and what. So what is repeated here, the beginning of the line, and merrily bouncing and merrily over. So the word merrily is also repeated. So there anaphora is there in consecutive lines when words are repeated. And the other one is asyndeton. And asyndeton takes place when the poet does not use conjunction in a sentence. As we can see in a sentence, a dime, another ball is worthless. So here he is not using conjunction in order to make the line concise. And the next one is alliteration. We all know the repetition of consonant sounds, as in this line, buys the ball back. B, B, and B. So here the consonant sound B is repeated. That's why alliteration is here. And so many other instances are there of alliteration in this poem. The next one is assonance. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sound, and the assonance is the repetition of vowel sound. As in this line, he is learning well behind his desperate eyes. So here the sound E is repeated. That's why assonance is there here. And now again we have got repetition here, the repetition of the word bowl, the repetition of the word what. So many repeated words are there, so repetition is also there. So overall symbol is also there. We know the bowl is the symbol of the hardships of life, of our precious things that we value a lot. So symbol is also there in this poem. Now let's know about the masses. This is a didactic poem, and we have learned the message that life goes on despite the death of our loved ones, despite the losses of balls and loss of loved things. So we know what the boy learns in this poem, that though he has lost the ball, still he had to stand up. So this is the message that he had learned, that we should not end our life if someone has gone from our life, or if something has been taken from us. The life goes on, it continues to move, it doesn't stop. We are also told that we should stand up against the miseries and sorrows of life. The life is not a bed of roses. There are so many hardships there in this world, so many miseries are there, so many sorrows are there, and despite all those sorrows, we should be sound and strong. We should stand up, we should tolerate all those things. We all should learn our responsibility, and one more thing, that we should be responsible enough in this world, because this is the world of possessions, and people are going to take away things from you. That's why you are to be responsible enough not to let those things loose. And we also learn to cope up with the loss. We also learn to stand up despite the loss. And we also learn from this poem that we cannot buy memories with money. Money is external only. Money does not have much value, as it is presented in this poem, that it cannot buy memories. So, what important thing is here in the life? It is not the money, it is the experience that we gain. It is the strength that we have got, internal strength that we have got. So that is of great value. Money is not of such a value. So overall, this is really a good poem. So thank you for watching the video patiently. I hope you have understood the topic well. So like and share the video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you with a new video on a new topic. Till then, bye.